All right. Call order Pleasant Hill School Board meeting for January 12th. First order of business is the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. 1.2 is our mission statement. Do you need to do that next time, Steve? Yes.
Our mission is to graduate all students with high levels of academic and personal achievement, ready for post-secondary excellence and prepared for productive, compassionate citizenship, the research-based instruction and a collaborative system of support.
Thank you. Any 2.0, any changes or additions tonight, Jim? No? All right, 3.0 is presentations. 3.1 is our school counselor week proclamation. So I just read this whole thing? Okay. All right. So whereas school counselors provide services to students to help them reach their full potential, and whereas school counselors are actively committed to helping students explore their abilities, strengths, interests, and talents as these traits relate to career awareness and development. And whereas school counselors help parents focus on ways to further the educational, professional, and social growth of their children. And whereas school counselors work with their teachers and other educators to help students explore their potential, set realistic goals for themselves. Whereas school counselors seek to identify and utilize community resources that can enhance and complement comprehensive school counseling programs and help students become productive members of society. And whereas comprehensive developmental school programs are considered an integral part of the educational process that enables all students to achieve success in school. Now, therefore, be it resolved that Pleasant Hill School District Board of Directors proclaims February 2nd through the 6th of 2026 to be the National School Counseling. And be it further resolved that the Pleasant Hill School District Board of Directors strongly encourages all members of our community to join in this observance, recognizing the dedicated and hard work of these individuals. Outside, okay. I mean, yeah. Yep. We have a second one, which feels oddly self-serving, but
I will take this.
you'll do that one? Okay, sounds good. 3.2.
3.2. The month of January is School Board Appreciation Month, and so the proclamation from the Office of the Governor is celebration of our Oregon School Board members, specifically our Pleasant Hill School Board members. So as Oregonians rely on public education to ensure a prosperous quality of life and strong economic health for Oregon, and whereas locally elected boards fulfill leadership roles and serve as the conduit through which teachers, parents, businesses, and communities demonstrate the care, creativity, and support that lead to student achievement. Whereas public school nurtures and trains diverse student populations with varying resources to give students the knowledge, skills, and opportunities they need to succeed. And whereas board members build a framework that makes it possible for education organizations to educate Oregon's children. And whereas we thank the committed community members who serve on the boards of Oregon's 197 school districts, 19 education service districts, and 17 community colleges for their dedication to the education needs of Oregons. Now therefore, the Governor, Tina Kotek of the state of Oregon, proclaims January 2026 to be School Board Recognition Month. And in Oregon, encourage all Oregonians to join in this observance. School Board Appreciation Month.
Thank you. All right. 4.0 is public forum. So individuals who are on site During this portion of the board meeting, members of the public are specifically invited to present items of commendation and or concern. At the discretion of the board chair, further public participation may be allowed at the time specific agenda items are under consideration by the board. Individuals who are viewing online, the school district posts the upcoming agenda on our website the Friday before regularly scheduled Monday school board meetings. This will allow public comment prior to the board meeting. Please click on the tab provided to share your comments for the school board to consider at their upcoming meeting. Personnel matters may not be discussed in public at a school board meeting. Members of the public who have personnel concerns or commendations should share them directly with the district superintendent. We had one submitted comment today from Molly.
Hi, hi, my name is Molly and I am speaking I'm speaking tonight, as a parent of an incoming middle school student this next year. And I am here to ask for more information in regards to the hiring process for the middle and high school principal position that will be opened next year. I'm hoping that the board can share potentially an anticipated timeline for the search, including when the position might be posted, how long the process is expected to take, and when a decision might be made public. I'm also interested in understanding what opportunities there may be for community members like myself, student input, staff input during this process. School leadership plays such a critical role in our school culture and student success, and I know many of us will just appreciate a little bit of transparency with this process. And happy School Board Appreciation Month. Thank you.
Yeah, I'll comment on that right now. So we started with an internal process, and through that process, worked with many of our staff as far as sat down with them, did a process similar to what we did with our elementary group as far as giving feedback. Mr. Stearns actually gave us interest in doing that, and so on tonight's board, I'm recommending that the board of directors approve this hire for the middle school and high school principal position.
Thank you, Joe. Thank you, Molly. 5.1 or 5.0 action item, 5.1 is to approve the December 15th board meeting minutes. But here any motions? Or comments? Yes.
I'll move to approve the December 15th regular board meeting minutes.
Second.
Moved and seconded, all those in favor?
Aye.
Right, passes. 5.2. Accept the second quarter enrollment report. Any questions on that or motions?
Let's make a brief observation. If you notice, last year at this time, we were at 942 students and we're up just slightly at 970. We've been also pretty consistent. I think I mentioned this last month as far as the month attendance as well. So we feel pretty good that our attendance rate right now are somewhat leveled off. We do still have a lot of students that are doing good some boundary waivers. But I think the number we're at right now is pretty solid. Moving forward, we're still expecting lower than anticipated birth rates, and so our kindergarten numbers are going to remain down. But it's pretty number where we're at.
Okay, thank you. Any questions from anyone? All right, motions.
Move to accept the second quarter enrollment report.
Moved and seconded, all those in favor? Aye. Passes. 5.3, second quarter financial report.
All right, we have our monthly financial report. It shows that for general fund revenues, we received 3.5 million in current year property taxes and 25,000 in other tax related income. We do anticipate an additional 285,000 to be received in the 25-26 year. We received a little over 5 million in the state school fund payments. We're expecting about 4 million more to be received throughout this year. We received 273,000 in interest from investments and 186,000 in other revenue. General fund expenditures, the salary expenditures through December are 2.5 million, with 3.9 million still encumbered. Benefits of 1.4 million with 2.2 million encumbered. Our purchase services are currently at a little over 1 million. And our transfers to reserves were made of 2.3 million. If there's any questions on that report, I'll watch them, otherwise we can move on to the other sheets. The general fund summary shows revenues and expenditures and also includes the encumbered expenses for the period from July 1 to December 31. The cash and investments report shows the changes in cash and investment accounts for the last 3 months. The current cash and investments total is 16,034,000. And our reserve and special funds provides a snapshot of our reserve accounts and our special revenue accounts. Most budgeted transfers have been made. They're included in the resources column along with the beginning fund balances. Our 24-25 financial audit has been concluded and our auditor will present the findings at this meeting.
Thank you. I didn't have any questions. Do you have any questions, either of you guys? No? All right, thank you, Sherry. My motions,
Move to accept the second quarter financial report.
Second.
moved in second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Passes. Next is 5.4, accept the IPM report.
So once a year in January, the state statute requires us to provide an integrated pest management report of the year before, since 2025, integrated pest management 3 reports. Let's see here. So essentially, the IPM report covers pest control, suppression, and suppression through a wide variety of tactics, control strategies in the IPM report. Emphasize structural and procedural improvements to reduce food, water, shelter, and access used by pets. Trapping is the next strategy to remove pests, cleansing and structural improvements in behavior renewable. And since IPM focuses on remediation of the fundamental reasons why pests are in facilities, pesticides should rarely be used and only when necessary as it relates to city, community, or staff safety. So for the 2025 year, the pesticide used outdoors for controlling weeds and flower beds, parking lots, and fence lines is attached. And it's recommended the board of directors approve the 2025 IPM report. That is voted in the resolution, and they then presented along with this resolution.
Are there any changes to any of the stuff we used last year?
There's not. No, we limited quite a bit from I'd say the practices when we first got here. Limited the use of one chemical in particular. It's still improved chemical in the state of Oregon. We use it there. District. Okay. So there's more defenses, and we work towards spraying during times where there's schools out of session as well.
Great. Any other questions or thoughts? No? All right, motion.
Move to accept the IPM report.
Second.
Move in second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Passes. 5.5, approved local service plan.
All right, so this is our 2-year 25-27 local service plan between the ESD, and this is year 2 of that. The state statute requires that ESD develop this local service plan and through the board approval process approve it. So the current year 2 of that was developed in collaboration with the component districts, superintendents, Lane ESD administrators, and staff, and reviewed and approved by the Lane ESD board of directors on January 6th in 2026. The local service plan contains all services mandated by law. Local service plan services are intended to improve student learning, enhance the quality of the instruction, provide to students assure equitable access to resources, and maximize operational and fiscal efficiencies. We're asking the board of directors approve this 2-year or this plan in year 2, and services will include students with special needs, school improvement, technology, administrative support, and custom services. Custom services are generally services that we can request based on a specific need that we might have. So for instance, in the past, we've might have needed speech and language pathology services or services to help with English society language testing. So they're kind of just one-off services. Laney is the service plan provides each year framework, which must be approved annually by Laney and Brunswick school districts no later than March 1st. So we're asking you tonight that the board of directors approve the year 2 of the 25-27 service plan.
Thank you. Questions about it? Before we go, all right, all your motions,
I'll move to approve the 2025-27 local service plan. Year 2.
Second,
moved in second, all those in favor?
aye.
Aye. 5.6, accept annual financial audit.
Yeah, so this is for our 24-25 fiscal year annual reports. Again, this is a state law requirement that we have an annual audit of all of our financial transactions of the school district for all operating funds, including grant funds and trust funds. We contract with the independent accounting firm of Acuity LLC, and they conducted this year's 24-25 fiscal year and audits. You have a document available for you. And then we also have Corey, our CPA, online with us. She's right behind you. If you don't have it, Corey. She'll give you a brief presentation and then answer any questions that you might have.
Hello. As introduced, thank you. I'm Corey from Acuity. I did not get to be on site for the district's final fieldwork this year. I got to do the spring fieldwork that we do. I was supposed to be on vacation and then there ended up being a storm, but I still get to do the presentation. So good news this year. Overall, the district ended the fiscal year with about $11.1 million in fund balance. Of that, the general fund had 8.66 and 8.44 million of that was free and usable, what we call unassigned. The general fund was able to increase fund balance by $270,000 last year. And the only reason I kind of touch on fund balances is something that, you know, we just look at for financial health. And it's good to see you're one of the districts that just has been able to maintain healthy fund balances. It's been neat to see you be able to do that and see consistent ADM coming out of the pandemic. I know it's been all over the place for people. So I just wanted to take a minute to highlight that and congratulate you on those healthy fund balances. When we looked at the audit testing, we did your federal compliance audit. For this new fiscal year, the level actually goes up to $1 million. So there may be years where you guys don't end up needing a federal compliance audit anymore, which I know breaks Sherry's heart, but so it'll be a year-to-year thing. But for 25, you still needed one. And so we looked at the school student nutrition program, and everything looked great with that. We had no issues at all. So that's a great thing. We did have 2 journal entries to talk about. One, I am going to own on myself. For us, it's a newer thing in the audit world of these insurance pools that are bargained benefits, and they carry from year to year. So dealing with the accounting side of that from a budget basis is a newer thing for us. So I had told Sherry I thought we'd handle it one way. And then as we saw more and more of them, we decided it probably should be handled a different way. So there is a journal entry. If you were looking over your list of journal entries, there was a journal entry to adjust that to the way that we finally decided was the way that we wanted to see it across the board after lots of consultation. And so that was one. I own that one. It was not an error on anyone's part at the district. And the other one was just a snapshot at year end. There was a payable that wasn't recorded. And this is one of those things that kind of breaks an auditor's heart. If it had been smaller, we would not have worried about it, but it was $85,000. So it was big enough that it needed to be recorded into the June of 25 fiscal year. It was kind of a weird one. And so I think your year-end close process is good. Payables are one of those things that we only really have to worry about the period they're recorded in when we get to June 30 of every year. the rest of the year, they just kind of go through the normal process. But when we get to June 30th, there has to be a bit of a look back. And so, like I said, normally we don't see invoices that big because you guys don't have projects that are going that are having these large invoices. So we had to pull that back into the June fiscal year, and it becomes a finding because it's just of the size of the invoice, not because anybody wasn't doing their job. So I wanted to, the very back page of the audit has the notation on it. And you'll respond to the Secretary of State with it. But I just wanted to make sure the board understood that is not anything related to your federal grant programs, which is good. And it was just really a one-time thing. I don't think we'll see it again. And we've asked that, that they just do one more extra look of invoices in the future. And I know Sherry's happy to do that with her staff. So, unfortunately, that invoice also created an over expenditure. So it was like the perfect storm of everything that you don't want to see when you're auditing, but we got it there. And so it will be done with it this year and move on for next year. So that's about all I had. Did anybody have any questions?
No, I didn't have any questions. Steven, Trevor,
No questions.
No questions.
thank you for presenting.
Of
Thank you,
course.
So the regular audit financial reports for the 24-25 as presented by Acuity. We just had a motion for it.
I move the board accept the 24-25 annual financial audit and adopt the district's corrective action plan to remediate the unreported accounts payable audit finding in accordance with the requirements of the Oregon Secretary of State.
Second.
All right, so we move to the second.
Need you to repeat the.
Yeah. All those in favor? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Passes. Thanks again, Sherry. I think it's the first time there's ever been findings since I've been here, so.
And since I've been here,
There you go, yeah. I know you're always doing good.
it's been an audit for me, so.
And last action item is 5.7, approved personnel report.
Yep, so we have one personnel action on here tonight, and that is to approve the licensed hire, Mr. Stearns, it's the middle school, high school principal. I'll add, I met with middle school and high school staff. I'd say the majority of the staff showed up to the meeting, overwhelmingly positive support in having Alan come and serve as the principal. I think what was notable that they brought up was some thankfulness about follow through. He said he was gonna do something, he's done it, speaking right here, the ability to get in the classrooms, through the teachers reported that this is the first time maybe in their career, and so like feedback from him, specialty type of classes, choir music, shop is experiencing the same thing, whereas in the past where they felt like they've not gotten feedback, they're getting feedback, that was important, so doing this experience in this work. And then just, I would say overall, being able to watch, work over the last few months with students in the hallways and the athletic piece as well has been really positive, so. We're working the board of directors approved Alan being our new school district principal.
I have a couple of questions.
Yeah.
Completely internal process, right?
Right.
And there was no competition.
Alan was the only intern that showed interest, yes. Yes. And there's not a lot to choose from, but I think in talking with the staff and with the association, there was interest in moving forward to see if there was broader interest from the staff. In having applicability to that position, and when we saw that it wasn't need to move up outside for an external search at this point.
And in turn, we'll be looking for a new AD.
Correct, new AD, high school assistant principal, is the intention.
Sure, go for it.
Were any of the committee members part of our community, or I guess I'm wondering why also parents weren't, this is a big deal.
Yeah, and there are, just like I think with the elementary is a number of individuals, like parents as well. From the staff, in that sense.
In a sense, what does that mean?
A small community that many of us work in, our kids go to school at the same time, so they carry a couple of perspectives.
Right, as a staff member and a parent, a soccer coach, I didn't hear anything about it, so I would have loved to at least know about it. And I feel like others would as well. I am not saying this is a bad choice, I'm just saying I would like to know more about this choice. It was a huge process hiring our elementary principal, and this seems odd.
Similar process we went through when we hired Mr. Bruce, temporary.
But that was a temporary position.
No, we brought him in as a temporary and hired him as the contract administrator. Yeah. In process. There's not, I don't want to say this in terms of like anything that Alan brings or doesn't bring sitting in here. There's not a lot of administrators out there right now with experience. Just be honest, like volunteering put us out in the community right now as far as people coming through. We have somebody who is well qualified to do the job.
And that's great, how do you know that it wasn't posted, I guess is my question, that it wasn't posted at starting, I know, like, I see what you're saying, but I was like, how do we know?
In that posting was really ensured with the folks that would be qualified to go to apply for.
So was that just posted, I'm sorry, it's a Pleasant Hill?
I keep the popcorn thing.
I'll say if there's further comment, to reach out to Jim directly and send an email or give him a call or stop by his office or set up a meeting with him if you want to share concerns more about it. Here.
Do we have time to do that before it's official?
Before the hiring, we're gonna vote on the hiring in a few minutes or here.
But we don't have time to talk with him before that decision would be made.
Correct.
Is there a timeline on the hiring?
And
Why am I in such a hurry?
And understand, I will say this, Alan is already a hired administrator in here. We're doing it open and board right now, to be transparent in the process. I do have the authority just to announce him as the principal, so this is part of that process. Go forward. Be transparent.
Any other questions from the other Stephen? All right, then I'll hear motions on the approval of the personnel report action.
I'll move to approve the personnel report.
Second.
Been moved and seconded, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All of those against? Okay, motion fails. Where do you go from there on that motion?
As I consider it still the majority since we have a quorum.
Oh, is it?
So
Oh, it is. Oh, okay.
It passes, it's two to one.
It passes to one, even though we don't have 5 people.
we're still a quorum is three.
And that's just the majority of 3. Okay.
Yeah, we got majority of the quorum.
They just have to vote, they don't agree.
Yeah, right.
Okay, well, that passes. 6.0 board discussion items. Do we have any discussion items from either of you guys? I didn't have any.
Or we're gonna wait for the other two to talk about using the March 9th.
No, I had, no, we can discuss it now, sorry. Yeah, you had brought up about using, well, I think we're moving the March 9th meeting to an actual meeting, is that correct, Jim? I can't remember.
Correct.
So we use that as a real meeting there, but then, Jen was wondering about, having a section of that where we could meet as a group to discuss your, evaluation stuff in person, like a portion of it, but if we have to meet in executive session, do that or whatever, we can. But just instead of, in the past, we've done it kind of siloed, and then just, everyone just send them to me, if we had a chance where we could review it ahead of time, then come together, talk for a little bit, and then fill out our own evaluations.
So that is, we'll have an executive session piece on February 23rd. Available, and then the idea would be March 9th would be to do that, but your guys are
Sure, well, that can be on the February 23rd, that's fine.
Okay. So the idea was, Drew would need to be able to get your feedback and information prior to the 23rd, so that you could have something.
No, just, no, well, we would want to meet to just talk about questions to kind of refresh everyone's memory on all the things that we're rating you on, like we can all review it ahead of time, then come together, just talk about it, go through the questions, and then we fill them out individually still after that, and
Oh,
I would consolidate them.
so we're gonna have an executive session on February 23rd to do that. And then March. Would you be prepared to have like a summary then for me at that point in time,
The March 9th one,
or prior to the March 9th?
maybe it would depend on how fast everyone got their stuff, right?
Okay, good set, but
Gotta make a deadline for.
Right, yeah.
Friday before.
Right, yeah.
Or if we come into that executive session with kind of the
Notes
framework
already, yeah,
of
sure.
what I would write, and then we can have that discussion and what do you remember and how do you remember it, and
Right.
that, and then just make edits before it gets sent to you, shouldn't be very long.
so we can do that as well. So we do executive session on the 23rd. We can schedule another one for the 9th. If we need to use it, use it. If we don't, because the summary will be complete and we can go to a formal.
Okay,
Go to for the evaluation of the 9th.
okay, that's fine.
Yes.
And then reports and information, 7.1 superintendent.
Yeah, a few things. So our softball field is primed and ready to actually have the turf actually laid down. So the turf is out there. It's waiting for some semi dry weather to go get on and do that. So exciting to have that ready for the spring season. Our parent survey was sent out today, closes on January 31st. We'll get that information back from the group that we're working with it in a summary kind of report, and then sometime in the spring, be able to share that out with the school board. Also, our seismic upgrade for the Barrel Gymnasium for design process is at 90% complete right now. And it's, as shared, we're within about $50,000 of that guaranteed maximum price. That being said, it goes out now for bids to subcontractors on February 9th. Once that's done, we may do some additional fine tuning to get us within the price range.
Alright, thank you. The 0.1 board calendar of events, any changes to that? The one was already on there?
So, I hope it is. A few dates, I mean. So let's see, January 14th, we've got PTO meeting at 2:30 in the community center. Booster Club meeting on the 14th, also in the community center at 6:30. Education Foundation on January 22nd at 6 p.m. And that's here in the community center. And then in February, we've got PTO meeting on the 11th at 2:30 in the community center. Booster Club meeting on February 11th at 6:30 in the community center. A first grade concert on the 12th. It'll be the Blue Gym at 1 p.m. We've got our Education Foundation Gala on Saturday, February 14th. So if you need a Valentine's idea, that's gonna be at the Ford Alumni Center again. Single tickets are 75, couples are 125. That's at 6 p.m. Our third grade concert, February 19th in the Blue Gym at 1 p.m. and Education Foundation meeting again, February 19th in the community center at 6:30. Takes us to February right now.
Perfect, thanks. Any other business? From either you guys? We actually have two upcoming meetings, so we have the regularly scheduled board meeting on February 23rd for regular business. We do also have an upcoming meeting that will be announced shortly for this coming Thursday. When we have all the information, but that will be to resolve the ongoing issue with the teacher that on staff, so that should be resolved on Thursday. And that'll be normal board meeting time, correct?
6 p.m.
6 what?
6 p.m.
6 p.m. Thursday. And that would be announced on the website when it's official. And then last, we are adjourned.